I did a little research on some large companies that are doing mindfulness practices, and just kind of tell you what they seem to be doing and what seems to be working there, and it could be maybe useful for other organizations. So, for instance, Intel has a 10-week mindfulness program. It takes place once a week for 90 minutes. It has a weekly topic. It has meditations, a timed writing activity, a group activity. Over 7,000 employees at this point have taken it. They also have access to mindfulness lessons through an app that they developed. Mindfulness on site at gyms there. There's a dedicated room for meditation at Intel. So that's one thing. SAP has a 2-day training program. There's 10,000 employees have gone through it. They have these, and again, it's just mindfulness training. It's like how to be mindful. It's a 2-day training program. They have meetings that are sort of device-free meetings. There's a dedicated quiet room for meditation and reflection at SAP as well. Verizon has different programming that includes different speakers on mindfulness and meditation. They have a 5-week program that is delivered by an outside group. They have an intranet page that acts as like a hub to publicize mindfulness happenings and to empower ambassadors who sign up to host meditations at different locations. And they also partner with an app called Insight Timer, which is a great app for a lot of different meditations and mindfulness practices. LinkedIn has they have a whole department focused on mindfulness. They have a smartphone app. They have like 30-day challenges with they offer employees chances to enter into these challenges for like raffle prizes if they meditate like 20 times over 30 days or something like that. They have community meetings. They have guided practices. They have a very strong community of mindfulness at LinkedIn. And then Infineon is another good one. They offer employee information sessions on a regular basis, peer-led mindfulness sessions, a website that provides information and resources in mindfulness and meditation, and again, like a growing sort of community, an online community where they post articles and videos and podcasts to raise awareness about the benefits of mindfulness and meditation. Aetna has a practice. There's a lot of companies, and I would just say that if you can look into some of these companies and see what they're doing, but if you're interested in developing something at your organization, highly recommended to have a champion, someone who actually is the person who wants to take on championing this program and this practice. Some very basic mindfulness practices for just employees, trying to turn off as many notifications as possible, that seems appropriate, like turning off pop-up and push notifications so you can be a little bit more present. Answering emails during very dedicated periods of time is something that some companies do, or they promote, encourage. So you only have periods of time when you answer emails. Other than that, you're kind of focused on what you're doing in that moment instead of, practice you're doing something and an email pops up and then a notification pops up and you're kind of all over the place. You have dedicated spaces for each one so that you can focus on one thing before you move on to the next. In terms of meetings, one thing, if you want to practice mindful meetings, you could say, there's no phones or computers allowed in meetings, or whatever's appropriate for the particular organization. You could have a note taker, a designated note taker that can rotate and take notes, and so everybody else doesn't need to take notes. They can just be fully present. You can give everyone the opportunity to speak uninterrupted for a certain amount of time. So again, and everyone being really focused on what that person's doing. So again, that level of synchronization and paying attention as much as possible. So these are just a few of the different practices that seem to be useful at companies, and there's all kinds of ways. I mean, I think at the very least, it seems that if you have some sort of space designated, whether it's both an actual space and or a time space where you say, hey, every Friday morning, we're going to have a 60-minute meditation or a 30-minute meditation. It's going to be in this room, and that's designated for that. No phones, no computers, that kind of thing. Just something to get it going, get some interest potentially, and seeing how it works. And I would highly recommend, if you do this, using some sort of measurement tool to see how it's working, to see, hey, are people's stress levels going down as a result? Are their productivity levels going down? Are the relationships improving as a result? So measuring it would also be highly recommended.